I've known Guy 17 years. The first time I heard any songs of his, probably Desperados, Waiting for a Train was probably the first one I heard. Rodney sang me lots of Guy's songs because Rodney was always a champion of Guy's. And
I really love him, you know. He's like somebody I really admire, respect, and
he's a poet, you know, he's an American poet. He really writes about people. He draws characters in a way like no one else.
When I think about Guy Clark's music, words come to mind like intelligence. Guy's very intelligent. A word like I would apply passion, integrity, humor, intensity, vision. Guy's a real artist. To me, he's a consummate artist.
Was a Texas girl that broke my heart, and then she tore my truck apart. Guess I'll give me another in Baton Rouge. I like crawfish, I like rice, and I like girls that treat you nice. I'm gonna find me one in Baton Rouge.
I got a call one night from a friend who was in the music business. Said, there's a guy you need to go hear. And I kind of half-heartedly and reluctantly went down to this little beer joint in downtown Nashville. A few minutes, this guy came walking out, picked up a guitar, lit up a cigarette, and he sat there for about the next hour and proceeded to tear my heart out.
He stood up there and just looked everyone in that audience straight in the eye and delivered a song with just a real genuine heartfelt emotion that it just can't be denied. And I've been a Guy
Clark fan ever since.
Man, Guy as a songwriter is an actor. He plays a different role every time he sings a song. I think Guy's one of the people who has really let Nashville and the entire country music community know that you can really write intelligent lyrics from the heart, and that they can turn around and sell records, you know. Not that maybe Nashville didn't know that before, but Guy was always there to remind them.
Well, Guy's one of my heroes. You know, I don't have very many, and I choose them carefully. His music always feels good, and it's medicinal for me. I mean, I can be feeling a certain way. I can be, and I need to get a little pick me up. Why? It's pretty easy for me to shove a Guy Clark cassette in and start feeling better right away, you know. And it is. That's what it is. Music is medicine, you know, and he's a good little medicine man.
Said Baton Rouge, Baton Rouge, I'm gonna get me some alligator shoes. Baton Rouge, Baton Rouge, I'm gonna wear them out down Baton Rouge.
I remember when I first moved to Nashville 14 years ago, I got hold of an album that I never quit listening to. It was called Old Number One, and it was the strongest collection of songs I think I've ever heard. And in fact, a few years ago for an interview show, I got asked if I were on a desert island with 10 albums, what would I choose? And that was like number 1 or 2 on the list.
The substance of his music really transcends musical borders, you know. I think every writer wants to have that kind of substance to his message and what he's saying. And Guy has that wonderful gift to be able to show us ourselves in his lyrics. And we see the truth in human nature, and we can still laugh at it, laugh at ourselves.
I've got an affinity for Guy's work. I've been moved by his poetry for a long time as well. I moved to Texas in 1981 and fell into a circle of songwriters who were inspired by Guy and by Townes Van Zandt, and by that whole Texas poet school.
No, another thing about Guy is he's a real good driver.
He also paints darn well.
We play a lot together, and we rent cars, and he has yet to let me drive.
His woodworking skills.
He will not let me drive, and I'm an expert driver, you know.
Guy Clark is an original of a certain style of music of Texas
music, and I don't know if you would call it country music or folk music. It's just good music, and it's well written. And I mean, he's the real stuff that heroes are made of.
Guy Clark is an American musical voice, kind of like Ernest Hemingway is an American literary voice. When he started writing more and recording more, he became my hero, you know, and kind of like Mount Rushmore or something like that.
As a songwriter, when I see another songwriter as great as Guy Clark, it just makes me want to kill him.
Keep rolling.
Talk about Guy Clark, man. That's a joy. I'll never forget the first time I met Guy. I had just moved to Los Angeles. We were opening for Guy at a club called the Troubadour. In Guy's band that night, I think, was Hank DeVito and Rodney and Emmy, and in the crowd were Linda Ronstadt and Dolly Parton. I can't remember who all. I just went out there and I was in pig heaven, man. All my heroes were there in one night. I just was mesmerized by Guy Clark. His ability to paint history in those songs is so much different than most people that write songs. He writes like books in his songs.
Takes a lot of time to go that deep lyrically and stuff.
Yeah, I wouldn't give anything for all the time I spent listening to Guy Clark songs.
Man, it was the coolest groove. It's a Texas groove, and he knows where the good brisket is.
Guy's work it has always impressed me. I mean, the first time I heard any songs of his, probably Desperados.
Desperados Waiting for a Train. And I was absolutely just floored by that song.
Run his fingers through 70 years.
You know, Guy Clark's not just a great Texas songwriter, he's a universal songwriter, and I think he's essential for people to know and understand his music because it will change your consciousness when you get inside it.
I don't want to call him a living legend because it makes him sound older than he is, but that's kind of how I look at it.
He's a genuine Renaissance man. He's a painter, photographer, poet, folk singer, a driver.
There's too many things you can say about Guy.
Guy Clark has the ability of putting into a song a sense of humor and the greatest pictures and the greatest feelings you'll ever hear.
Precious days, they roll in and out like waves. I got boys to bend.
Guy Clark, Texas song poet. Godspeed, Mr. Clark.
I got seas to sail. I'm gonna build me a boat